What are we going to be seeing today?
Some of my students are working on a design challenge using Sphero robots, and they've been given a limited number of supplies, and they're going to build armor for their robots to battle them, and each robot has a balloon on the back, and the goal is to be the last robot standing with the balloon intact and not popped.
And why did you do this project?
I really like to have my kids engage in design challenges because I think it actually crosses over into mathematics, science, language arts even, where they have to be collaborative, cooperative, communicate well, and think creatively, as well as attend to precision, which is a huge mathematical concept for me.
And how have they done?
They're amazing. These kids blow me away with their smarts and their creativity and their bravery. They are really willing to take some risks with me, and I think that's so cool.
So how does this help them with their critical thinking?
Oh, well, again, because they have a limited amount of supplies and because they have to create something that doesn't have a plan or a design or a picture to start from, I don't tell them what to do. They have to actually, test and retest and prototype their object and work through the problem themselves without really a lot of answers available to them already.
Tell us what to do and we'll do it kind of thing,
exactly.
Right? And when I go out there and film them, what should I be looking for?
Well, at this point, because most of them are in the testing phase of their bots and most of them are almost done with their armor, most likely you're just going to be watching them collaborate on who's driving the bot, who's helping to spot for them, and, which bot reigns supreme, honestly.
Nice. Hold it up and tell me about it. What is this thing?
This is called the Sphero. You can download the app on your computer and you program it to connect to your computer, so you connect it, and then on here you can either use a joystick or a keyboard, and I like using the keyboard, and you can press, and then you can move the arrows to make it go straight or sideways, and you can make, what we're doing with this is we're doing battle bots. So you make your battle bot, which you do cardboard, a cup, straws, and you put push pins in it with a balloon, and your balloon has to be big, and then you put the Sphero inside of it down in here, and then it rolls. We'll show you. Get the Sphero. Jasmine, did you get it?
So why was this fun?
Well, like a couple months ago, the other team did it. Half of the class did it, and since Miss Chen owns this Sphero box, she decided to do it with us because she still had extra stuff.
What'd you learn?
It's really fun to do. It's like science. Put it in the
I say that it's like what?
Science.
In what way?
You're learning how to use the electronical robot to make new things out of it.
And what about the actual fighting of the bots? Are you kind of excited about that?
Yeah, we move all the desks in the room. We move all the desks to the side, and then we do two robots at a time. And the winner of that one moves on to the next round, and they keep on fighting.
And do you expect to win?
I don't know. I hope we do win though.
Who had the most influence on the design of your bot?
Our teacher.
Okay. Perfect. And what do you think of fourth grade?
What?
Are you in fourth? Mm-hmm. What do you think of fourth grade?
I think it's really fun. I'm really excited to go to fifth grade.
Why is that?
Because we get to go to a new school though.
You ready?
Yeah.
And what do you think of your teacher? What did she teach you this year?
She teaches us that mistakes are proof that we are learning.
Mistakes are proof that you're learning. How did that change your life that you learned that?
Because you are always trying to get good grades on the test, and it's still good if you do, and if you get some wrong, it's okay because you'll learn from those mistakes.
Does that make you feel better about learning that you knew you could make a mistake?
Yep.
Nice. And who's this guy right here? Tell me who this is.
My best friend.
Are you guys best friends?
Yep.
Because you were kind of arguing a bit, and he was bossing you around a little bit. I just wondered. But that's because you're good friends? You let him do that?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mason.
You love fourth grade, Mason?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because you get to learn more challenging stuff in the other grades, and then you get to go into the next grade knowing stuff that you already would know.
So do you feel confident that you're a smart guy? What makes you say that?
Well, our teacher tells us a lot of stuff. She teaches us all of like the activities in math and science and ELA and stuff like that.
What makes her good?
She likes technology and lets us do a lot of our tests on the computer, and she does activities with us that none of the other grades do.
Do you love her? I mean, is she that good where you say you love her, that she's that great? That's nice, huh? What do you think? Do you love your teacher?
Yeah, I like her.
Like her but not love her?
No, I love her.
That's nice to say, right?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, thank you. Your goal for these students?
Well, when students come to my class, I like to build a community that is, conducive to all learners and honoring all learners where they are, and respecting that we all learn different ways and we all achieve at different rates. But that doesn't make us any less of a learner or any less successful. It can take me one time to master something, it can take me 50 times to master something, but it doesn't make a difference. Once I've mastered it, it's mine.
And the students seem like they have a lot of independence, like they're always on the edge with you, just kind of pushing the envelope. Why is that important?
Well, we try to foster independence, obviously, in organizations so that they can, again, take those academic risks and be brave and do some things that are a little bit different, a little outside the norm. Obviously, in real life, you get, more often than not, you get a project and you're expected to complete it, and nobody hands you a detailed set of instructions and a rubric on how it's going to be scored. So you have to kind of work your way through and see how you're going to answer that question or how you're going to solve that problem. And that's kind of what I like to foster with my students.
And how well have they done this year with that?
Well, these kids are remarkable. They have done amazingly well. This is actually, I've come down a grade level this year, so these are the youngest kids I've worked with in a long time. And, they've been really independent for me and done really well.
Exceeded your expectation?
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about the rubber band rulers.
Over the rubber band rollers, students had to design a rubber band roller that obviously you wound up to get that potential energy and then let them go. And the students really had to prototype and test it on their own. I had a sub, and I left the iPads for them to record and make their videos, and they did it pretty much all on their own. It was amazing.
Did they blow you away?
They always blew away because they always look like they're having such a great time learning, and that's, what can you ask more? Can you ask them that?
So, a lot of teachers like it quiet and controlled, and it doesn't seem like that at all here. Like how?
There are moments where we are quiet and controlled, but a full day of quiet and controlled, I don't feel like there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of productive noise in this classroom, and I like it that way.
How often do you have to kind of rein them back in?
Depends. Usually when we have to transition out of something that's noisy to something that is a little more subdued, it takes a minute to transition out, but that would be true for anybody.
But that's your real skill, right? Is this trusting and letting them run and experiment and fail and...
We try. We try to honor and value failure as much as possible.
I heard that from a student. That really helped her be a better learner.
Awesome. That's wonderful to hear, because that's exactly the message I'm trying to send them.
Because once you make some mistakes, you can learn a lot more, right?
That's right. If you're not making mistakes, you're not moving forward. You're just not. It's impossible.